Hey, everybody. I wanted to get close to you a little bit, and I wanted to talk about some stuff that's going on in the world that really sort of troubles me and that excites me, that is motivating me to actually get off of my chair here in my house and get out into the world and start doing what I know I got to do. The situation that happened with Iran just recently, no matter what side of the fence you're on, it scared me. Um, I'm happy we stood up for ourselves. I'm happy we defended ourselves. I'm happy we did what we needed to do. I'm happy that Iran was smart and didn't try and take out people. I'm happy that they just showed the capacity to strike at will where they need to strike, when they need to strike, but didn't destroy anybody. I'm proud of the world the way it showed up right then, and I'm happy that it looks like, at least for the time being, averted a major crisis that would have had major ramifications for everybody in the world. What I'm really happy about is that somebody along the line listened, because what we do is we yell and we scream and we posture ourselves and we get ready for a fight. And if someone doesn't listen, we don't stop. We go into something that is way bigger than we'd ever seen. On a global scale, there are fires going on in Australia. There's the Iran tension. There's the impeachment process with Trump, no matter what side of the fence you're on, going on, that's occupying our minds. There's people that are going through some hard times, and some people that are going through some good times. But I want to bring it down to a very local level. I'm about to start my trip. I decided I'm no longer going to sit here in this chair. Coming May 1st, huge announcement this is. Coming May 1st, I am going to start to go around the United States of America. And I want to go to 50 cities, 47, 50 cities within 90 to 120 days. And I want to just start to sit with people and just listen. I want to create places where I can say, I want to listen to you, and have people speak to me. I want to ask them what they would want to say to the world if they had 1 minute. What would you want to say to the world if you had 1 minute to say what you want to say? And what I'd like you to do, if you want to, is send me a video, record yourself just like I'm doing now. You can go to Zoom, you can do it however you want. You can use your FaceTime to record, you can use your computer, your phone. Send me a 1 minute video of what you would say to the world if you knew the world was listening. And I don't want it to be longer than 1 minute. But I want to go around the world and do it. So I thought, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to test the whole concept here in Encinitas. We live in a hippie, a progressive little town. Encinitas, you can't throw a rock without hitting 5 people that are spiritual. Yogananda has one of his big shrines here. It's a spiritual capital. And so I called City Hall and I said, hey, listen, this is what I'm thinking of doing. I'm about to set out on a trip all across America. It's going to be about 120 days. I want to test out the concept here to see what works. I would like to set up a sign on a table where you're, whoa, 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 where are you setting up a table? I said, that's what I want to know. Where can I set up a table where I can just say to people, I want to hear what you have to say, and just film them. They said, well, we can't give you a permit to do that, sir. That's soliciting. I said, what am I soliciting? They said, well, I said, I thought soliciting meant you're asking for money, or you're asking for signatures, or you're asking for something. I'm not asking for anything. I would literally just want to have conversations, and I'm really not even want to have conversations. I want to have listenings. I want to do what Mo did in my book, where he went out on the road and he sat with people and he just listened to them tell their stories. So all I really want to do is I want to go out and I want to listen to people. And I said, so how would I go about doing that? They said, well, we're sorry, sir, we can't tell you. We cannot permit you to stop, to put a table on the street, or to just take your phone and video people along the street. We can't permit you to do that in a location. We can't permit you to do that on public property. We can't permit you to do that on private property. If you want to do that, you have to contact a store, a place, a library. And so I called the library and I said, how would I go about doing that? They said, okay, well, we're sorry, you can't set up a table outside because that would take a permit from the city, which they're not going to give you. Coming in here, it'll take a month to 2 months to get you approved to do a workshop or a class or work or something here. I went, holy Toledo, this is in one of the most progressive cities in the country. And we can't figure out how to allow each other to talk to each other legally and record it. What I wanted to do is just record our conversations so that I could make a little docu-series or use it as a trailer to create for us to do a film that we could then take to Netflix as we travel around the whole world doing the same thing. And I thought I want to test the idea. But talking to the government officials for a permit, just to be able to listen to people, was as if I wanted to change the human society, and was as if I was asking for permission to create an atom bomb. We can't do that. What has happened to us that we've gotten so scared to allow people to do things that we used to do all the time? Like, I can go and sit and talk to people, but if I film people, then I could get in trouble for doing that. If I don't get a permit to do that, but they won't give me a permit to do that. So what are my options? Maybe the next video you see of me is going to be from my cell in Sing Sing. I don't know. I said to them, will you arrest me if I do that? They said, well, we don't know if we would arrest you. You'd have to call the sheriff and see if they would arrest you for doing that. I don't think they would. And I don't think if people complained, then they would have to file a report, and it would take a long time. We would have to research the situation. And by that time, you might not even be in town. So I said, so why do you have laws and things that are not even sustainable and not even real? And it made me think about what I am really trying to do. Our systems just are not working. We're fear-based systems that aren't allowing us to talk to each other, that aren't allowing us to have interaction with each other, that aren't allowing us to record our conversations for the betterment of our civilization. I'm not asking, and if I was bugging people, I said to them, look, if I'm bothering people, I just stop. I have zero desire to bother somebody. All I really want to know is, if you were given a chance to speak for 1 minute, what would you want the world to know about you? What would you want the world to know you think? What's important to you? And so what I think I've got to do is, I think I've got to go viral on this. I think I've got to talk to people online and have you send me videos. And I'll post on the bottom of this video my email address where you can send them to. I'm hoping to get a Mosaicpedia site going where we can start to put them up on the sites together. But what I want to do is, I want to create a collage of people speaking. So I was talking to someone yesterday, and they jokingly said, well, I would tell people to eat more mac and cheese. Well, okay. If that's what you want to do, and you want to take a minute and you believe that will make people happier, or that will make the world a better place, then tell me that. But I'm going to send you a release form that allows me the right to use what you say, and also allows me the right to edit down what you say without changing the content of what you say, but maybe shortening the content. Because maybe in the whole scope of the film that we're doing, there may be 3 seconds instead of a minute that says, eat more mac and cheese. And that might be really cool. But what I want to know from you guys now, if you're willing to do it, and why wouldn't you be willing to do it, is take a chance to give me your voice and tell me what you feel. What do you feel you would like to change in the world if you could change something? When I ask people on my podcast, the Mosaic podcast, I only have one question that I ask every single podcast. It's the one I close with. And that is, when you look out your window at the world you see, is this the world that you always dreamed of giving over to your children and your children's children? A large percent of the people say no. A few people say yes. And in both cases, I am so interested in knowing how they see the world and what they would do. For those people who say yes, I say, tell me about that world. I want the listeners of this podcast to be able to see somebody who sees a world that they are excited to hand over to their kids. And to the 98% or 97% of the people that say no, I ask them, what is the one thing you would change? What's the one thing you would suggest to people that people do? And that's the movie that I want to make. I want to have those one things that people would suggest. The one things that people see that makes this world the world that they do want to hand over. The one thing that people would suggest that would make them glorious and happy and excited to hand this world over to their kids. Will you send me will you send me a 1-minute video? Will you do that? Will you make a commitment to having a voice? and putting your voice together with a mosaic of other voices so that we can actually make a statement in the world. If I can't go out in the world and do it, then I'll sit here and do it. But my goal is to sit face to face with you and talk with you. And so what I'm going to be asking down the line in another video is I'm going to be telling you the cities that I'm coming to. And if you're anywhere near those cities and you would be willing to house me, or you would be willing to put me up for the night, or you would be willing to feed me, if you would be willing to have your friends come over, if you would be willing to introduce me to have a bookstore conversation, if you would be willing to sit with me in a park and talk with people and listen to people, if you'd be willing to hold the phone while we have a conversation, if you would be willing to what? Whatever you would be willing to do, I would be willing to come and see you. And so I want to stay on course. I want to stay on track. But I'm going to start to put it out more and more and more to people that if you're a friend of mine, if you have heard me, if you've read my posts, if you've done something, if we know each other from some distant job that I did, or some place that I used to work, or some place where we met along the street and bumped into each other, if you like me or you don't like me, it doesn't matter. Just like respond. And let me know if you're willing to help me. Asking for help from me has been the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. Hardest thing, because I'm used to doing it all by myself. But a mosaic is not made of one piece. It's impossible to have a one-piece mosaic. So I'll end this here because I've talked more than I want. The idea is send me a video, 1 minute long. Try and record it as good a quality as you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Of when you look out your window and you see the world, is this the world you want to hand over to your children and your children's children? And if not, what is one thing you would recommend the world do, that we, the people of the world, do to make it a place that would make you excited to give it over to your kids? Thanks for your time. Thanks for your energy. Thank you for your help. I look forward to seeing you as I set out on my trip. I'm leaving May 1. I look forward to seeing you as I set out on my trip, to having a meal with you, to breaking bread with you, to meditating with you, to talking with you, to walking with you, to doing whatever we do together. Let's have fun. Let's celebrate. Let's get to know each other and let's connect. Because here's the thing. We are better together. That's the mosaic. Until soon, God bless.